So we had one more that, as I hinted at, was what, almost 2 hours long, with a couple of different versions of tracks on it. That's probably why. But Kanye, Donda dropped what, Saturday
Yep.
or overnight Friday last week.
Yeah, clocking in at an hour and 48 minutes. So I'm a big, as we've talked about on here before, I like value when it comes to buying albums, especially as a kid. So an hour and 48 minutes, I don't even know how that's possible to get away with that. But Kanye's got some power in the industry. He's officially a billionaire, so he can kind of do whatever the hell he wants, I guess.
But Nate, would it be value though? Because that's double album territory. You're paying $19.99 for this back in the day, so maybe it's not value.
I know if it's a double album, yeah, it's that thick jewel case that doesn't fit anywhere. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I have mixed thoughts, but at the same time, like I haven't really listened to Kanye in depth in quite a while. I think I want to say since 808s. No, Twisted Fantasy. I think is the last time I like really paid attention to what he was doing, and kind of fell off a little bit. I don't know. I think I was confused on the album. That there was a lot of tracks that it seemed to kind of. I mean, there's obviously a lot of repetitory, especially the first track, right? Donda, 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 Donda. I'm always trying to figure out Kanye West. So this is another confusing, throw me for a loop album by Kanye West. And like you said, I had a hard time getting through the whole album just based on the length, which is unlike me. But I've also been kind of distant on his music for the most part for the last 5 or 6 years. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I want to talk about Kanye, but I don't want to get too in depth because I am going to tease that we may be doing a Kanye episode in the not too distant future with a guest that may or may not also be putting out a double album. Weird, I know. So yeah, there's some Kanye stuff that we're gonna leave on the bone just cause. But I'm with you, Nate. It's similar to his last couple of albums. There's some stuff on here that's really really good, and then there's some stuff on here that's like this needed a little more time in the oven, and then there's some stuff that I just don't need. And because it's an hour and 44, you're going to get that, or whatever, an hour, whatever, 48, you're going to get that. And this is a Kanye thing. He puts out great music when he's focused on putting out great music. And I think he was here. I just think he thought everything was great and like needs a check here and there to kind of rein him in and cut some stuff down and make it a little more of a concise album, because there is a classic Kanye album in here. It's just 12 songs and, maybe some rearranging of some of the arrangements, but there's some really good stuff in here. Like the song with The Weeknd's great. I think it's Hurricane.
Yep, Hurricane.
Off the Grid's great. I like Jail a lot. The first real song. Yeah, there's Moon's cool. Like there's some good stuff on here. It just needs to be a little shorter and less of a run-on sentence.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. When you have an album this long, like there's gonna be filler, and you get that with this album. The other thing that I just can't get away from is it's too feature rich. There's too many fucking features, and I don't know. I know a few of them. Like I remember hearing, obviously I know The Weeknd, Travis Scott, Lil Baby's on there, but there's others I didn't know. And to me, it feels more like a project. It's not an album. It's like Kanye West presents or something. You know what I mean? Like you remember Dre presents The Aftermath, and he had that Been There, Done That song. It's almost like that. It's almost like a label showcase. Like I feel like where for like I had to like while I was listening to it, I had to Google like track list with features to understand who was on it.
I did that too. I did the same thing.
Yeah, because it wasn't on Spotify. The features, it wasn't, which was interesting.
Yeah. It's not on Apple Music either.
Yeah, it's not cohesive. I think if you trim it down, this would be a much better experience, I think, for the listener. But full disclosure, I haven't even listened to the back half of it. I just couldn't get there.
Yeah. I was going to say our attention spans have definitely shortened just like everyone else. One thing I got to say though, and I was completely surprised, especially like you just said, Twan, you couldn't even look it up on Spotify, which is where I listened to it, is the Hove. Jay-Z came back into the picture, which is always kind of nice knowing that they had a little falling out. So Jay-Z and Kanye West back together on this album is good to know that they're patching things up. And it's actually a pretty good track. I mean, anything with Jay-Z and Kanye on the same track is gold. I mean, I don't know.
Is it though?
You're familiar.
I thought his verse was kind of weak.
I did too.
Yep.
But I mean, Watch the Throne 2 confirmed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like the bigger story here.
That's like, the bigger story.
That verse was like cooked in an oven. It was, he was nowhere. They weren't near each other. He just sent the beat, and
That's true.
I don't know. It's like that Drake. The Kanye verse in that Drake album where Jay-Z's rapping about cake, cake, cake. He raps cake with cake or something. It's like,
Oh yeah,
you're better than this, man.
Yeah.
that's a good point. I think it was really just a familiar voice, like you said. All these features that you didn't know. It's like, oh, Jay-Z, I know this guy. I know.
Well, you perk up, right? You obviously will perk up when you
Yep.
hear Jay because you know it's Jay and it's
Yeah.
Jay-Z. Like this means something.
Yeah, but to your point, maybe it was forced or a showcase with all these people. Like, they're both billionaires at this point. They're just moving units. So hey, do you want to do a feature on my album? We'll sell product. That's really all that matters. So maybe that's where the art's getting a little lost. Is it's like so about the money. I'm not trying to shit on Kanye. And like you said, we'll save some meat on the bone for that episode in the future. But it just seems like there's a little bit of disconnect on the art because it's so much about, and you just go to Kanye's Instagram or Twitter and like he's bragging about being a billionaire all the time. It's like, cool, man. Like no one really cares,
I mean, he's got a guy who has some demons, right? I mean, he's
Mhm.
bipolar. There's some stuff going on there with him that is just outside of the world of music. Is why he is who he is, and it makes him musically really good at what he does when he wants to be focused on that. And it's one of those things that's just going to be difficult. I don't want to get too obviously in the weeds on what's going on with him mentally, but he's also coming off, a divorce. So you're going to get long sprawling, here are all my feelings, because this is a therapy session for him, I would imagine.